So a few years ago, we took a look at No Man's Sky on the original Nintendo Switch, and it was honestly unlike anything I had ever really played before. I had a really good time with the game, and it was impressive to see that Hello Games was able to get No Man's Sky running on the baseline Nintendo Switch system. Now, of course, there's been subsequent patches and updates to the game, but this is a company that doesn't rest on its laurels. There is a Nintendo Switch 2 version of No Man's Sky now, and they asked me if I wanted to check it out in a sponsored video, and I was like, you know what? Yes. It has been a while since I jumped into the world of No Man's Sky, and I'm sure it looks and plays even better on the Switch 2 now. So let's go ahead and check this out. So I actually downloaded the Switch 2 patch for free, mind you, as well, as this is a free upgrade. I started up my old save file and I quickly realized I completely forgot how to play this game. And it was kind of a little bit frustrating to me just because I wanted to remember like how to play it because I had made such good progress in the game, but I was just kind of like, I really don't remember what I am doing with this game. So maybe, just maybe, I need to start fresh. And honestly, I am glad I did, because starting fresh brought me into a whole nother realm with this game. There are different game modes that you can select from. The normal one, which is what I did initially, a relaxed mode that has less resource management, which the game is very heavy on resource management. So if you like that sort of stuff, it's definitely best to play like the normal, or you could get crazy and do the survival mode. But I like a little bit less resource management. So I decided to start up a new game under the relaxed mode, which had a little bit less resource management, but still had the same fundamental principles. And as I'm playing this, I quickly realized something. This is the game mode not only just for me, but wow, this looks so much better than it did on the Switch 1. Whether you're talking about just a purely graphical perspective as far as visual clarity is concerned, or the frame rate of the game, the draw distance of everything, you got to remember, these are huge different planets that you are constantly traversing through. And all of them have unique characteristics, from flora and fauna to structures to creatures and stuff like that. And it looks so much better on the Switch 2, and it runs so much better on the Switch 2 comparative to the Switch 1. The Switch 1, you could tell, was definitely struggling a little bit, but this version of the game just feels and looks so much better. And so now I kind of had to reintroduce myself to the game. And if you've never played No Man's Sky, it's definitely a very unique game, and I can't really think of many games that are quite like it. You basically start off and you have to rebuild your ship because you're on a strange planet and you got to figure out like what's going on. There are story elements to the game that you can follow along with to learn about the world that you are in, or you could kind of just go along on your own path. There are different types of creatures out there. Some are hostile, some are friendly, but you're constantly looking for different resources to upgrade your equipment so that you can get further into galaxies, so you can get into certain planets and areas that your ship at a stock level can't exactly get into. As you can see here, there's a crazy radiation effect going on right now, which is harming my player. So now I have to seek shelter on this hostile planet. Luckily, I did build a little house here to recoup in. You have a jetpack that you could soar around in, and I'm sure you've seen that I've been using a scanning visor, which feels a bit like Metroid Prime in terms of scanning your environments, learning about the new types of creatures, learning about the new types of flora and fauna, and what they do. Everything can be harvested into different elements, and you use those different elements to create stronger elements with things like refining cores and stuff that you can build. You can see this is my little camp that I have set up here with all of my different equipment. And like just going to the different planets themselves is so much fun because everything is truly a mystery. I was just messing around on this planet. I had to find something here, and I'm just kind of walking up to this building. I'm like, oh, okay, this building looks pretty neat, you know. I wonder what's going on here. And this probably could have been a very simplistic journey for me, but I came across this interesting little cluster of eggs, and I was like, oh, well, what are these? Maybe I should mess around with them. No, that wasn't the best idea in the world because the biological horror was detected. So now I'm in the combat phase of the game. And like, this moment, I'm so glad I captured this moment because it genuinely like freaked me out, because up until this point it had been pretty docile. You know, I didn't really have much to worry about in terms of things trying to attack me. But because I decided to mess around and get a little bit creative and blow up some things that I probably shouldn't have messed with, now I'm engaged in this war with these aliens that keep rehatching from these eggs. And like, I don't really have time to go up and blow up where they're coming from, you know, so there's that risk and reward. Do I risk trying to run up and blowing up where they're spawning from, or do I just try to make my own way? Like, this was so neat to me. There's different types of weapon upgrades that you get as well. You basically go to different starships and you land on there, and then from those starships you can barter, you can learn more words of the world as well. Like, it's all very interconnected, but it's one of those games where it's like you don't necessarily have to do every little thing. You can kind of move at your own pace. You can decide how you want to do things at your own pace, whether you want to follow the main story, whether you want to go off the beaten path. And there are rewards for it. There are rewards on these planets that you might not know exist. So I'm unclogging this terminal right now. There's crap running around in here. And now I am getting what is the mission item here, which is some antimatter blueprints so that I can get something additional for my ship. You could see here, I'll have to craft some additional stuff in here. But now I want to search around in here. And there's like look at this. This just screams like Aliens to me, you know, the movie. And like, I love this. I love these little structures that are built within the world of No Man's Sky, because that is that aura of mystery and, you know, wonderment, and like, what are these things? What are these creatures? What are these life forms? Why are they here? And you can learn about things by scanning them, and you can get rewards by doing this sort of stuff. And like I said, each individual planet has its own ecosystem, has its own weather effects, has its own temperature readings and stuff like that. So you're constantly going to these different planets, and you're constantly finding out new things about the system that you are in. And like I said, there is an overarching story that is happening as well along with this that you can kind of, you know, weave in and out of at your own leisure in order to learn more about the true secrets about No Man's Sky. I love the way that everything looks and feels in this Switch 2 version of the game, though. It's seriously a large step up over the Switch 1, and the fact that they are, you know, doing this as a free upgrade for Switch 1 owners, or you can get a Switch 2 version of the game as well, available on the Nintendo Switch eShop on the Switch 2. Like, I think that's such a classy move for this game, and they've added in the ability to play with friends as well, so you can go across the world and across the solar systems and stuff like that in your different vehicles that you have acquired or built within it, your different spaceships. There's also landcraft that you can use to get around on certain land masses and stuff like that. Like, there's just so much stuff going on with this game, and it's so much fun to explore. If you're someone who likes the art of exploration, or someone who really likes resource management and crafting stuff and seeing different sorts of, you know, enemy types and different sorts of creatures on all of these planets, I think this is such a fun game because it's something you can like pick up and play as long as you remember the control scheme, which now I am familiar with. But it's something you can pick up and play, you know, play it for an hour or play it for 6 hours or 7 hours and get so much enjoyment out of it by learning about everything that the game has to offer. So, you know, if you've been on the fence about playing No Man's Sky, I think the Switch 2 version of the game is extremely well done. There's lots of cool graphical effects, and you're going to get a lot of bang for your buck with this game. So I want to give a huge thank you to Hello Games for sponsoring this video and hitting me up and wanting me to check out No Man's Sky on the Switch 2. I definitely think this is a very high quality game, and it's a game that you're going to sink a lot of time into because of that aura of mystery, because of that aura of exploration, and the fact that there's so many different game modes. If you want to skip you know, the other stuff, you don't care about the story, you just want to get creative, like there's a mode for you there. You want heavy resource management, there's a mode for you there. You want survival, you could customize everything. Like, just so cool, man. Let me know in the comment section down below, though, have you checked out No Man's Sky on the Nintendo Switch 2, and what do you think about the Nintendo Switch 2 version? And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. Be sure to check out No Man's Sky on the Nintendo Switch 2 if you're looking for a game that gives you a lot of bang for your buck. This is it, folks. This is it. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.